ahead of season 2, and I'm going to open it up to you guys in the fan zone a little bit, but let's get going. Okay? Alright, everyone, let's bring out our amazing cast and executive producers. Please join me in welcoming Roberta Aguirre-Saconza, executive producer of Riverdale. Our favorite redhead, aside from the Blossom family, KJ Appa. Producer of Riverdale. Well, you all look so amazing up here. I need to know, where are the unattractive people in Riverdale? Because I don't think they don't list. You guys, that gag reel was one of the best season bloopers I've ever seen. You guys look like you're having so much fun on set together. So we're gonna kick things off with a little quick on-set pop quiz. And a chance for you guys to call out your co-stars a little bit.
Yeah.
Who on the cast plays the most pranks on set? Cole Sprouse?
Yeah.
KJ?
KJ for sure.
Calling KJ.
They're not really pranks though.
We also, we have a new Reggie for season 2.
Charles
Named Charles.
Charles and
Awesome. And he has immediately solidified himself in the pranks.
Who breaks into giggles in the middle of the scene the most?
KJ.
KJ. Lily. Oh, Lily Diva. Together. That's true.
Who can always be found snacking on food at Crafty?
Camila.
Me.
KJ.
KJ, dude.
KJ.
KJ has like a warrior's gut. He
Insane.
consumes so much food, it's almost disgusting.
I had 5 donuts.
Who's most guilty of constantly taking selfies in between takes?
Madeline.
That's fun.
And last but certainly not least, with this cast, I gotta know, who's singing the most on set?
Lily.
Oh, me.
I sing the most.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, we sing a lot, like in the green room. We're always just like,
We're always breaking out into this.
Cole loves it
when you guys start singing.
yeah.
We have so much goodness for season 2 to talk about right now, but of course we have to address the biggest finale cliffhanger. Fred Andrews was shot. We do not know what is going to happen, but I do know that Roberta and Sarah can chime in and give us a little tease as to what we're going to see in the season 2 premiere.
I think we're going to find out Fred's ultimate fate at the end of the premiere. You saw a little clip there with Archie bringing Fred to the hospital. The first episode is basically Archie, the gang, all of the town sort of sitting, waiting to find out what's going to happen with Fred, and it will be revealed at the end of the first episode. We're all pulling for him, though.
Well, KJ, how is Fred getting shot going to affect Archie's worldview? He's typically such an optimistic guy, but now his BFF is going to a new school, his dad just got shot. Are we gearing up for dark Archie?
100%. Like Roberto said, Archie's pretty much freshly dealing with Fred being shot in that first episode. So there's a lot of things going on, and there's almost a switch that goes off. And I think 100% it's a completely different side to Archie that we haven't really seen yet. So yeah, it was when I read that first episode, I was happy because I knew that it would be.
How are you going to juggle football, music, and your dad?
OMG! It's going to be quite a pickle for you there. I'm really excited to announce that we're getting 22 glorious episodes in season 2. Congratulations, guys. Sarah, how does having 9 additional episodes shape the writer's room? Do you have more room to play this year?
I think it's funny, we thought that they'd have a ton of room to sort of do one-off episodes and sort of like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but there are so many great characters and there's so many stories to tell that it's the same. I think it's just more of that kind of pedal to the metal, aggressive storytelling and juggling all these characters. And what's so fun is seeing different characters interact, and that's one of the things what the chance to do with more time.
Roberto, is there anything that you didn't get to fit into season 1 that you're like, yes, season 2 is where we're doing it?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is, like Sarah said, we have a huge cast, and we're going to get to see more. We're going to see more of Kevin Keller this year. We're going to see more of Josie. We're going to see more of the Pussycats. We're going to be able to do as much crime stuff as we want, and then have enough for the characters and the relationships and the romances. So it's really a bigger canvas, and that's the best thing.
How you doing, Cole? Because it's time to talk about Jughead. He's going to a brand new school this year, and when we last saw him in the season 1 finale, he put on a Southside Serpents jacket.
Yeah.
What's his mindset as he's going into season 2?
I think Jughead for season 2 is placed kind of in the middle of two worlds that are starting to collide and really erupt. And as the season has progressed, and it's going to start forcing him to really pick a side, which is quite a dangerous space for him to be in, because he's a very morally gray character. And I think that's going to have huge repercussions for his narrative and for his relationship with the rest of the cast, and we'll see.
How's his relationship with Betty going?
It also gets tested. His character is now very much the outsider. I mean, he started as a kind of intellectually foreign character at the beginning of season 1, and now he is physically away from the entire cast, which is a strange place for him to be in.
Well, we saw when he was over at the new high school, he surprisingly was fitting in really well. Do you think that he's going to be embracing the Serpents and embracing these new students as kind of like a newfound family?
I don't think it's going to be as easy as he assumes. I already, from what we've been shooting without spoiling too much, I think he has an idea of fitting in, and he's quite a special snowflake, or he thinks he's quite a special snowflake, and he'll stand out. And the problem with a dangerous system like Southside High is that standing out can be physically threatening. Mm-hmm. So we'll start seeing a little bit of that narrative for our poor special snowflake Jughead.
And this is a question that Roberta and Sarah can chime in on too. Any word on Jughead's mom and Jellybean making an appearance?
We've talked about it. I think it might be something that happens in the second half of the season, yeah.
We have to find the right casting for both of them. I mean, the casting's everything on the show, so we want to do it right. But nobody cares about Bughead, right?
Lily, we saw Betty battling a lot of inner demons in season 1. As she goes into season 2, are you personally excited to kind of explore that a little bit more and kind of get into her mindset?
Yeah, I mean, definitely from an acting perspective, it's a challenge, so it's good to take that on. And I think as the scripts have been coming in, as we've started filming, there's a lot of, I don't know, like last season we saw some dark Betty, but this season it's more like tortured soul Betty. And it's really, I'm really excited to play it, but also kind of, it's a little heart-wrenching for my character and for my sweet little Betty. But yeah, I mean, there's, we explore that darkness a lot more, and I think we see Betty come to terms with it a little bit more in season 2 rather than try and just cover it with a black wig.
As she's coming to terms with this darkness and trying to figure it out, are we going to be seeing her lean more on Jughead, Veronica, or Archie as she goes through this?
You know what? I think it's kind of, I don't know, I think her dark, I don't know what I can and can't say.
Everything. You can say everything.
I think it's quite even. I think she finds a different comfort in every single one of them. But I do think you definitely see more of Benny and Archie's friendship and their support system, and that they are, they have been best friends their whole lives, and that's something that you really get to see in season 2, which makes me happy because it just kind of gives a little more background to these two people who grew up next to each other.
And as much as I love Betty's signature iconic ponytail, are we going to get to see her let her hair down a little bit this year?
You really hit the third rail right now.
Really?
Yeah, we will see Betty loosen her ponytail a little bit more this season. And it is, I always say to Lily, I was like, it's iconic, you have to wear a ponytail. And Lily's like, I have a headache from wearing it.
Camila.
Valentine.
Oh wow, how very on brand, how very Veronica of you. Hiram's home. We have Mark Consuelos coming on in season 2 to play with Dad. First of all, I've got to know, what was it like welcoming him into the Lodge family?
It was effortless. Honestly, he blended in as soon as he got here. And he plays the role with such confidence and subtlety. Like, he's not like trying to push this Godfather-esque character. Like, he just is so calm and collected. Because at the end of the day, he's a businessman and he knows how to like put on a face and like charm people. But the whole time, I'm still suspicious. I don't trust him.
I was going to say, how would you describe their father-daughter bond?
It's layered. I think there's a side of Veronica that really wants to know that he's better now or that he's going to try to be a good person. But at the same time, he's still doing the same things he's always doing and keeping secrets with Hermione, and they're kind of like not letting Veronica cross that bridge. And she's just trying to get to them and be like, let me be part of this family. I want to be a Lodge. Like, I want to help.
She wants the secrets. Yeah. KJ, have you shared any scenes with your girlfriend's father?
Am I? No. Oh, yeah, we've had a couple scenes.
Have you shared any scenes with Mark Consuelos?
Oh, yes. Yeah. There's some, we got some crazy stuff together in season 2, yeah. Some real funny
They
stuff.
have a really cool relationship.
Yeah.
Really? How would you describe it? Is it tense?
Scary
Bring it
for
along?
me.
Scary?
Yeah. Obviously dating his daughter, he's a bit skeptical with that, but he's a hard man.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
And
He has a plan.
Camila, I'm excited to say that we reveal something very special here. There's another man coming back into Veronica's life. What would you like to tell the audience?
I've got an ex from New York coming. And he's a bad boy. And he brings out Veronica's dark side, which I don't think we got to really see in season 1.
How do you feel?
Dark Veronica is much darker than Dark Betty.
Yeah, there's no going back.
KJ, how does Archie feel about that?
At this stage, Archie's really not in the right headspace to be dealing with that at all, so you never know what to expect.
We've got even more fresh faces coming to Riverdale this year. It was announced that Supergirl star Britt Morgan is going to be coming in as Penny Peabody. And of course, as we mentioned, you've got a brand new Reggie joining the group. Why was Charles Melton the perfect choice to step into Reggie's shoes?
When we were first casting Reggie for season 1, it took us forever to find the guy who kind of embodied that, and that was Ross Butler. And then when Ross had to leave, we had to make a really tough decision. Do we retire the character, or do we try to replace this great actor? And for me, and I think for the producers and for the cast, Reggie's such an important part of the show. He's such a big element. He's Archie's kind of day-to-day rival. That I said, listen, if we can find the right actor, we'll do it. If we can't, we'll retire Reggie. And Charles was one of the first actors who came in, and he had it tough because since we had everyone else cast, we made him read with KJ, we made him read with Cole, we made him read with Ashley for various reasons because he has stories with all 3 of them. And the chemistry was kind of instantaneous.
As soon as I met the guy, the guy was doing push-ups before he went into his audition.
Is that the way to your friendship?
No, he's perfect for Reggie. Completely embodies the character.
Yeah, it really is.
Is that why you like to play so many pranks on him?
Not on each other. We do it together. We're bloody good teams, right? So, yeah.
And I'm also pleased to announce that there is another new character coming to Riverdale, Tony Topaz. Joining the group, you'll know her from the Archie comics. Sarah, what can you speak to about Tony and who will be playing her?
Well, what's interesting is the actress playing her was someone that we met the first year for one of the parts that someone else was playing, and we just loved the actress so much that when the opportunity came up to bring her, she felt like she belonged in Riverdale, so we're very excited.
And she's played by Vanessa Morgan, my best friend. How would you describe her character? Where does she fit into this world?
Tony Topaz is a student at Southside High. She's a Southside Serpent. She's sort of Jughead's guide into the Serpent world. And there's a lot about her that makes it seem like, almost like we jokingly say that she's got a lot of the same interests as Jughead. So it's almost like she's like a female Jughead. So she's trouble. She's trouble.
Trouble in what way, Roberto?
I think she's trouble getting Jughead into this gang. I think she might be trouble for Bughead. I don't know.
Interesting. I can hear the boos and hisses in the audience right now. Now, the interesting thing about Tony Topaz is that in the comics, it was hinted that she could be bisexual. Sarah, is this something that we're also going to be exploring on the on-screen version? Roberto, you go to that chat too?
Yeah, no, I mean she's sort of that's something that's in the comic books and has been for a while. And we thought it would be really, really fun to have a bisexual character from the comics on the show. So she's going to be trouble for a lot of the people on this panel.
Which leads us to our romance checkup. I understand that we're getting some new love interests and some new love. Hey, how you doing?
I'm good.
What's going on for Kevin? Any word on Joaquin?
You know, I think Joaquin got on that bus. I don't think it's going You know, I think the first few episodes are really fun for Kevin to kind of deal with that heartbreak in a very wonderfully written way by the writers and producers. So it's going to be really fun to show that. And I do think there's going to be a new love interest that comes into play eventually, which you have to ask Roberto about that.
He has to heal his heart first.
Yeah, he's a delicate soul, as you guys know. So.
What do you think that Kevin looks for in a guy?
Remember, there's children in the audience.
You know, I think I think Kevin learned a big lesson with Joaquin. Not that he's not going to learn that lesson again, but someone that is interesting and authentic in themselves and different in the same way that Kevin is in many ways. Pretty much that, I would say.
Josie might be batting a couple of eyelashes at Reggie and then. But we'll see.
Anybody else on the panel getting any new loves? Or want to throw that out there right now to Sarah? Roberto? Over here?
Well, Cheryl Blossom really had the. I mean, obviously with Archie's dad and fighting for his life, that's a serious situation. But poor Cheryl. I mean, nobody's family went through a worse season 1 than Cheryl. I mean, just like she's got a lot of healing to do. Are you up for that, Madeline?
Dude, the baby crying in the audience right now is like the perfect soundtrack to the
For the Blossom. We're going to be talking about the babies, don't you worry.
Got it.
I think when your father's a wig-wearing monster, it's it's hard to find appropriate love interest.
Yep, that's the truth. Let's check in with Betty and Jughead. They've had such a lovely evolution in season 1 together. We got those I love yous in the finale. What would you guys like to see from them in season 2?
Well, I think, honestly, with Jughead kind of going Southside and stepping into serpent territory, it's very scary for Betty. She doesn't want to lose her man and also doesn't want him to get into any danger. And I think it becomes a little bit of a Romeo and Juliet situation that she hopes has a happy ending. They both do.
I want to see Betty just ride or die, you know what I mean? Just like on some hogs, just riding into the
There might
wilderness.
be a pink leather jacket in the future.
Yes.
I mean, her mama was a little bit of a serpent, so.
No, I think, you know, I think the relationship is definitely going to be tested, especially through the first real narrative of the second season. But it's one of those things where now more than ever, I mean, season one, the way that we've kind of talked about season one was very much the origin story for a lot of these characters. And now the way that the characters' lives are sort of progressing is really stressful. It's dark, and the truth is that Jughead is one of those characters that really gets tested the most by the world around him, and that puts Betty really in a position of possible judgment where she and her morality have to make the choice to either be there for this kid or, you know, call it quits for the betterment of herself. So it's interesting to see where it goes.
And for Veronica and Archie, are we just going to see their love continue to blossom?
Yeah, I mean, since Archie's going through all of that drama with his father, I think Veronica's being challenged to be like, to step up and be a strong girlfriend. And I don't think she's really used to being in those kinds of serious relationships, like, especially because they just started their relationship and all of a sudden she's like helping him go through something very traumatic.
And I think we can tease that probably the sexiest scene in Riverdale's history is in episode 401, and it's between Betty. I mean, between Veronica and Archie.
It is quite steamy.
It's very steamy. It's very steamy.
Modern day representation of such an iconic group.
It's amazing. It's such a blessing to have the three of us. As you know, we aren't the exact replica of the comic book Josie and the Pussycats, but it's amazing to be able to showcase how talented Josie and the Pussycats are and bring to life. I love the movie in 2001, and you know, I'm sure you guys have probably seen it, but it's amazing to be able to share with you our love for the group and
Yeah, I feel like it's like honestly such a journey of self-love for all of us, even with just like wearing our natural hair and like it's been so confirming and such a blessing because it's not all the time you get the opportunity to do that, especially on TV, so we're really grateful. Yeah. All this hair.
it's an amazing opportunity.
Yeah.
What type of musical moments can we expect in season 2?
Lots.
Well, we do something super iconic. Episode, is it 202? 202, we are literally singing the dopest song ever. I won't give it away, but everybody knows it. Like, it's a classic, so. It's really great.
Are you guys just like slipping notes like under the writer's room being like, I'd like to sing this song next?
We just sing them on set all day, 12 hours.
And Ashley, are we going to be seeing any more dynamics with Josie and her family? Because her mama's the mayor, she's quite powerful.
I'm really hoping so. I think we are, specifically with Josie and her mom. I'd like to see some more interaction with Josie and her father, because I think that plays a big part in who she is and who she's going to decide she wants to become. So yeah, I mean, I'm really hoping that there's more family interaction.
Yeah, there's definitely, we all love Robin Gibbons, who plays Mayor McCoy and Josie's mom. I mean, she's incredible. So we definitely have big stories planned for her and Josie, because they're also going to be tested this season.
And just real quick, Veronica, are you still rocking those Pussycat ears in season 2?
I am.
Yeah.
Veronica's still a pussycat.
Yeah! Love to hear that. Madeline, you burned down Thornhill. Season 1 finale. Girl, where do you live in?
That's a solid question, Paul.
All of which will be revealed in season 2.
I do have a house somewhere, sort of.
Well, in that teaser trailer, we saw a very chilling scene. What was it like playing that, and what can you tease about what Cheryl's going to be going through with her Blossom family?
Well, Cheryl gets colder and meaner in season 2 because of all the things that happened in season 1. But she takes the reins back from her parent, just the one. She takes the reins back and she starts taking control of her life a lot more, which I think is going to be fun for her to do. She needs that.
Well, and we've got some babies on the way for the Cooper and Blossom families. I don't know, how do you guys think that Cheryl and Betty are going to be as aunties?
I actually think we're gonna have a lot of fun. We have a very interesting dynamic on the show. In season 2, we
We're going to have babies on the set.
I love babies. I can tell you you're horrible.
I also started with baby.
Well, that actually leads me into my last question before we open it up to you guys in the fans, in the audience right now. Instead of the classic cliche that a lot of other teen shows have done in the past of pitting girls against each other, it's so nice to see that Riverdale has so many beautiful female friendships and they're genuine. What is it like for you guys to be able to have those relationships on TV and be able to show that to the girls out there?
Episode 205, let me just say, is like a really big, like, girls sticking together. This Nick St. Clair guy, the ex-boyfriend that comes into town, he does some really bad things. And it involves Veronica and Cheryl. And because of that, it brings all of the girls together to kind of like fight it. It's kind of in the same light as episode 3 in season 1.
It's something that Roberto and I talked about from the very beginning, which is that dynamic of girls fighting each other is just not interesting. It feels very played out. And I think it's important. All the women on the show are very different, you know, but they all find a way to get along because that's what women in this world need to do. So,
And even Monica and Cheryl, who like obviously are always going head to head, they still find a way to support each other, which I think is.
But you know, deep down, Cheryl just really wants to be a part of the gang. Like that's
Exactly. I think she knows.
What about
Oakland.
Lazy?
So my question is, with KJ as the New Zealander on the set, I was wondering if the rest of the cast members had picked up any Kiwi slang.
Oh my
God.
Feed for feed.
Mint.
King for a feed.
King for
Legend.
None of these people are going to understand.
I don't want to encourage him, so no.
I've had to change. I kind of, as soon as I started working with these guys, the first week was gnarly for me. I had to really cut down on the old New Zealand slang.
You have to assimilate.
Exactly.
What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, I'm Grace. Great animal and Lily is
I just want to be as ripped as Archie. I think Chuck beefcake.
I have to make a decision first.
Yeah.
Outspoken as Cheryl.
I like Betty's kindness. Hey.
I love Camilla's confidence. I feel like Veronica's is so confident. I like that.
I think Betty kind of channels some of Cheryl's inner demon.
For Jughead's ability to eat.
I love a bit of Kevin's humor. Archie's not the funniest guy in the world.
Casey, what would you like time to have?
Casey's perfect.
I kind of, that's a good question. It's really hard to answer that question. No, I think maybe a little bit of Cheryl's confidence in who she is and fearlessness to burn down houses.
I wouldn't mind being a little dark. I wouldn't mind being like real dark.
She also got some demons.
What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, I'm Paris, and I was wondering who's most like their character on the cast.
That's a hard one.
I think we all carry some traits. We all carry some traits. More
Jughead. Maybe I'm so not.
The guy that plays Pop Tate is the nicest guy in the world.
Oh my gosh, he is Pop Tate. Pop Tate is Pop Tate.
I think KJ.
I think KJ.
He's just as boring.
KJ is the furthest
Take that one.
thing from
Clearly, Adelaine's going method with Sharon, so that's.
Actually, I'm a pretty boring person. I love it.
Oh, stop it.
AJ is a fearless leader, I think, of the show, and he's on set every day. He's always prepared. He's always encouraging. So I think Archie has that. Not to make it sentiment,
Wow,
but
Casey.
Cheers, man.
always. I'll throw that up for KJ.
Cheers, brother.
You always win.
I also feel like our pussycats are most like their characters because they're also wickedly talented.
Yes.
And what's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name's Lauren, and and my question is, if you could be any other character besides yourself, who would you be and why?
I would be Jughead because like burgers all the time.
No, dude. 16 burgers deep into 3 takes is not something you want. The gluttony. Also, like, they're prop burgers. Okay? Season prop better, but season 1 was like some freeze-dried A&W crust. It was like the Krabby Patty, like the vegetarian patty that looks like really gross.
They're the chum bucket.
But how are the milkshakes?
So much better. This season, they're actually way better. They're actual milkshakes. We have like real milkshakes. They were like Pedialyters. No.
Ensure.
Besides being Jughead, would anyone else want to step into anybody else's shoes?
I would love to be Betty. I love Betty's vulnerability. I think it's beautiful. She wears her heart on her sleeve, and I think that's really fun to play too.
I think it'd be really fun to play Cheryl.
Yeah,
What's your name? What's your question?
I'm Gabby, and I was just wondering if any of the actors have read the original comics and if they took anything from those characters to put into their characters now.
Of course.
Yes. My mom had a huge box of comics. She still has them, and she's had them since she was a teen, and I went nuts on them. So I still have them, and I think a lot of us are big fans of them.
Yeah, on the pilot, I like read so many comics, so I was like, oh, like they're probably gonna like copy the storylines, and then they did. Voice reading, but
I think it would be really inappropriate not to read any of the comics when you play these characters, so that should be said. But also, we were given a tremendous package of research materials when we got the parts.
I was not. I neither. The research.
I'm still waiting.
Right, I'm still buying it. You know what I mean? But yeah, the good thing is that Arch has been around for 75 years, which gives us as actors tremendous potential to dive in and cherry pick character traits that we want to fit into a show like this. So in terms of being able to do research, we have the huge benefit of having the largest source material that we could for these characters, which we've all used quite a bit. And Roberto is the single biggest Archie fan in the universe.
The best story.
It's funny, every time we do a storyline in Riverdale, we're like, okay, well that was never done in the comic books. Cole or someone emails me a panel, and it's literally, it's been done because there are hundreds of thousands of stories.
Yeah.
So even someone last year sent me a picture of like Archie kissing the old Miss Grundy in the comic books.
We have time for one more fan question. What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Johanna, and first I wanted to start off by saying I'm repping the Southside Serpents.
Yeah.
Somebody play Believer.
And I also made this jacket, just so you guys know. So my question is there any rituals that you guys do before you go on set?
To like get into character.
Yeah, to get into character.
I sing to myself.
I listen to Highway to the Danger Zone. It's a pumped up. Really for anything.
I don't think. Gotta be hungry as hell when I walk in the box.
I feel like putting on my red lipstick is ritual enough.
Lots of coffee.
Yeah, lots of coffee, lots of tea. We have an amazing crafty. There's always like fresh ginger tea. It's amazing.
I think the best thing is running lines in the makeup trailer with the other cast.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what gets me in, and then we just keep doing it over and over again until it's like in our blood.
Yeah, well, for me, I put up that ponytail and
It's there.
And the headaches start.
She's method.
Putting on the crown is also one of those things where you put on the beanie and it's immediately a character.
Yeah, it's funny how actors can do that. Even when it's not my take and I'm not on camera, I still ask to have my heels on because there's something about, I can't do Veronica in slippers, like that's just not gonna happen.
I mean, in the same way that Southside jacket makes you feel a certain power when you're walking up and asking the question, that goes for all of our wardrobe. And anytime you slip into a character's skin and you have the specific piece of wardrobe, it allows you to channel that character a lot more effectively.
I never leave the character canon.
All right, guys, we are almost out of time, unfortunately. I wish that we could be chatting with you guys all day. Real quick, though, if you can... Oh, do we...
I think there's one more.
Okay, what's your name?
Hi, my name's Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
So my question was, in season 1, when Cheryl's underwater and Archie's still breaking through the ice, Cheryl sees Jason as a zombie. Is there going to be anything else in season 2 that's like supernatural like that?
Good question.
Good question, Charlie.
That's a very, very, very good question. You know, I love horror stuff, and I love you know, dreams and jump scares and things like that. So we're always trying to figure out ways to put hints of that in Riverdale. We have been talking about one very prominent supernatural character that exists in the Archie universe.
I'm gonna cut you off right now.
That's all I can say.
Oh, I'm out of time.
We actually are out of time right now. Thank you all so much for coming in.